Hi, my name is Ryan, and this is my story on how my dog saved my life. I had a lot of anger when I was a little guy, and my dad tried everything he could, but I think it stemmed from when I was a little boy. I think the anger stemmed from my mom. My mom is a really dangerous person. I have a sister that died of crib death. I have another brother that I've never met before, even to this day, that my mom shook him too hard and she broke his neck and his back, and my mom went to prison for it. I swallowed a bag of speed when I was a little boy, maybe 2 or 3 years old. My mom gave me back to my dad, and I ended up going to the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks, and my mom ended up going to prison for what she did to my brother, and I never got to ever see her again. A lot of everything came from not having being nurtured when I was a little guy by my mom. I got to say that my dad was there for me, and he never left me. It was really tough because I had so much anger when I was a little boy. My dad would always ask me, "What is wrong with you?" I'd be screaming the whole time I'd be at home. He wouldn't understand where this anger was coming from. And I would just be like, "I have no idea." And I don't know why I'm so pissed, but I hate the world. He started to trying to find out what is wrong with me. I started going to mental hospitals at 6, 7 years old. I was doing inpatient for months at a time at Charter Hospital in Mission Viejo. I was on every single medication that you could think of. They were trying to find some kind of solution to my anger. My mom did pass away when I was 11 years old on Christmas Eve. That really affected me because for some reason I thought I was going to meet her again. And I never really remembered what she looked like, but I do remember that every time I'd see a female figure, I would always think it was my mom. My grandma was like my mom. So whenever I come on the weekends to my grandma's house, she was so nurturing and so sweet to me. Even though I was probably pretty tough on her, she never gave up on me. The same as my father. They were always there for me. I got sober when I was 28 years old, and it was because of my father. I walked into my dad's house, and I was so torn up and backpack full of trash, burn marks on all my fingers. I walk in, and my dad just started crying. That moment right there was really a huge moment for me. The last thing I wanted to see is my father crying in front of me, and he's never cried in front of me before, and it broke my heart. And that day I got sober. It took me a couple weeks, but that's when I changed my life. After I got sober and moved back to Huntington, I got my dream girl, I got my dream truck. The problem was the truck kept breaking down and the girl kept attacking me. And I was wondering, why am I even alive? A friend found Sugar in Oakland, and she was found missing all of her bottom teeth, and she was really skinny, and no one loved her. She was about 8 months old. His mom asked me if I could watch Sugar for a little bit. I literally fell in love with her. Just like this, she melted in my arms, and she was just a pup. She's missing all of her teeth. No one loved her. 2 or 3 weeks, I got rid of my truck. I got rid of the girlfriend, and I just kept Sugar. My dad was kind of irate because I was living in the garage. He's just wondering, like, what are you doing with your life? And I'm like, I don't know, but I just sure love this dog. And I didn't intend for her to be a surfing dog. I just kind of put her in the pool across the street from my house and started pushing her around on our little boogie board. And she was just so good. She just would coast out to the middle and look back at me like, "That's all you got?" And I'd dock her and let her walk off and come back the next weekend, and I'd push her back and forth. And in Huntington Beach, we actually have a massive dog surfing contest, one of the biggest in the whole world. Sugar entered it, and she got second in worst wipeout. When I'm putting on my wetsuit, she gets up and lets me know that she's available if I want to take her surfing every single time. She liked doing anything with me. If I jumped off a cliff, she would run right after me and jump off the cliff too. She just wants to be with her daddy. Every single day, I just love this dog more and more. Started to surf with her, and that's when some of the more magic happened. Like, we were just like a match made in heaven. She's probably better by herself than we are as a tandem team, but I'm catching up to that too. And at least I get to have her right there with me. Since having Sugar on my life's just become amazing. I don't need to be going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't need to be with the cool people. I'm okay with just being at home with them. It doesn't matter what day it is. As long as I got my Sugar, I'm totally fine and perfect being where I'm at. We do Life Goes On. That's like a surf therapy organization for people that are disabled. And she goes out there and puts smiles on faces and rides on the board with them. And the same with Mighty Underdogs, like disabled or not. Some people just aren't fortunate to get to the beach or, whatever it is, but we get a chance to make their day any way possible. The VA hospital, Long Beach, we work in the spinal cord injury unit. Thanks to my father, she just goes up there, and my father started an art therapy class, and we would just go up there and hang out. So I have TT and I have Kiwi. My dad wasn't the biggest fan of any of the dogs at first, but they warmed up to him. And my dad passed away about 5 months ago. I don't even know if I would be here if I didn't have these pups surrounding me. I was my dad's caretaker, and I got a chance to just love on him, and the dogs sure did too. Sugar was at his feet. TT was sitting on his shoulder. Kiwi was on his side. Let him know that he's not alone. At first, my dad was going to kick me out and sell the house. Every single dog that I got at the end of my father's life, he just loved having them around. And it's just so trivial how things work out, because now I don't have nobody and all I got is my pups. And if I didn't have them, I don't know where I would be. I don't even know if I'd be here. I don't know if Huntington Beach, I'm a celebrity, but I know that Sugar is. And that's not just Huntington Beach. That's like the world. We just surf on social media. Like, I don't really get a chance too much to share my story. When I ride it on my shortboard, people aren't smiling at me. But when Sugar's on a wave, the whole pier or the whole beach or wherever we're at is screaming on the top of their toes, just elated at Sugar. It's just amazing that she has such a great impact on people's lives. And, we get to put a lot of smiles on faces. TT's been surfing since she was 6 months old. Kiwi too. They're all amazing. We surf as a tandem team. The dogs saved my life. They've saved my soul. They saved my spirit, my heart. Love having these animals, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Just because you have a bad past, even if you're a late bloomer like me, I changed my life in my late 20s. Like, I'd never imagined that rescuing a dog could just be so impactful on people's lives. I would never imagine we'd be on the news. We've been on the news 10, 15 times. We've been on the cover of newspapers. I wanted to share my dad. This is my dad, Robin Joseph Rustin. This was him when he was 19 years old. One of the best surfers around. He had the raw natural talent. He never gave up on me. My dad's been a huge supporter in me and Sugar's life. He was at all of our dog surfing contests. He was so stoked on Sugar. I just really miss my dad, and thanking Sugar to helping me through the toughest time of my life right now. I thought that getting sober was tough. Losing my father, my best friend, even tougher. These dogs have just been loving on me like no other. They're truly my angels, and I'm really appreciative. Thanks for listening to my story. I hope that you got a chance to get to know me and Sugar better, and Kiwi and TT. And, it's just amazing how much the rescuing a dog has changed my life. It doesn't matter if it was a cat or a fish or whatever it was, but just loving on something unconditionally can change your heart and soul. Wake up. Hey, you can't sleep the whole interview. Don't sleep the whole interview.